Hi, I'm Nicole Marie Finch. Thank you so much for tuning in to my health and mindset blog. Today's focus is a little bit more on the health side, although mindset is definitely a part of it. And that is what are you really hungry for? Why are you hungry? Why do we feel hungry? And there's kind of two sides to this. There is like the mental and kind of philosophical side, and there is in the more like sciencey side. And I'm gonna start with the mindset side because sometimes we feel hungry when we're not something in our life is we're not feeling fulfilled, we're not feeling happy, something's missing. What are you really hungry for and really craving in life? It might be a change, it might be feelings that you're not good enough, it might be all sorts of different kinds of things that maybe you have something you need to do. Like I know sometimes I feel hungry when I'm actually like procrastinating. It's like a defense mechanism. I have to eat before I can start doing that work, for instance. So you have to kind of step back sometimes when you're hungry and think, am I really hungry? There's been times when I'll start to feel hungry an hour after I ate. Like there's no way I'm actually hungry right now. Why am I actually feeling hungry? And I have to kind of take a step back and think like, what do I feel like? A lot of times it happens when I know I want to be working on something. There's something that I want to be doing, but I'm not. I'm either procrastinating or something else has come up that it's more priority or whatever. And so I find that sometimes I'll feel hungry, but I'll be like, this doesn't make any sense. Or sometimes I do eat and I'm still hungry. I'm like, how is this possible? So a lot of times it comes down to there's something that's off, something that's not you're not feeling fulfilled in. And so I really encourage you when you first feel that hunger pain, maybe it is just hunger, but maybe it's just kind of that tightness in your stomach, that feeling hunger for something bigger, something wanting that fulfillment. I find a lot of us in this country are not living fulfilled, happy lives. And so I think that has a big link to why people are feeling hungry and looking to food to help fill that in. And I will say that there's nothing wrong with going to see a therapist. There's nothing wrong with going to get help if you feel like you've got some kind of issues there that you want to work out. I just want someone to help you figure out, what am I hungry for? What do I want? Some people can't always answer that question, and that's totally normal and totally fine. But so that's one thing I want to talk about with when you feel hungry. What are you hungry for? And then go for it. If it's changing your life, that can be scary. Going from one job to another job, it can be scary. But you're going to find so much more fulfillment there. Sometimes you have to follow your stomach in a way. Now, on the more sciencey side of things, but similar, is the attachment to food because of certain emotions. So as a kid, for instance, you may have been given certain foods at certain emotional states, and now you connect that food with that emotional state. One of the most common examples probably is ice cream. So a lot of times as a kid, you go get ice cream to celebrate. Maybe you got a good grade, or you got a star in your homework, or you just won mini golf, whatever it might be. You're going to go out to have some ice cream to celebrate. And so that brings good feelings, and so you feel that happiness, that accomplishment, that I'm a great person, I'm doing well kind of feeling. Now, as you're an adult, maybe you have something not so great happen in your life. A breakup, maybe you didn't get that job you wanted, or, who knows. And you're going to go to ice cream because that ice cream brings those feelings of I did something great, I'm accomplished. And so you kind of use that food to help fill in that emotion that you want to be feeling instead of the one that you actually feel. So keep an eye out for that as well, and try to think, how should I be dealing with this, functionally? If you want, maybe you want that ice cream and it makes you feel better, listen, that's awesome. But if you're someone who's trying to sort of change the habits and try not to be always munching and snacking, these might be some tips that might help to be able to take a step back and say, why am I really hungry? Do I really want to eat this? And if you want that ice cream, go for it. But if you're trying to figure out what's going on here, maybe try to think about, how can I look at another different way to help me feel that emotion, okay? Now, to get to a little bit more of the sciencey side, when you feel hungry, after you've kind of assessed, okay, something I'm missing in life, okay, maybe not, I'm good. Am I reaching it for an emotion? No. The next thing on your checklist should be drink water. A lot of times we're just thirsty because, back in the day, when we were out there in the wilderness, hunter, gatherer, whatever, we didn't have a water bottle by our side. Like I literally have a glass of water like right here. I always have one by my side at all times. But we didn't have that luxury back then. And we got a lot of our water from the food that we ate. So there's a connection in our body that when you feel thirsty, sometimes you feel hungry because it alerts your body that you need to have some food that will give the water that you need. Now, back then that worked just fine when we were eating a lot of water-based foods like fruits and veggies. Now, not so much. We're not eating so much food anymore that gives us that water. So, drink water. Another thing is that we often don't get the right nutrients that we need. So there's a lot of minerals and vitamins out there that we need for our body to function properly, but we have to get from the outside world. And we really need to have a variety of things. If we get stuck having the same types of foods, the same ingredients in them, you're going to have that nutritional hunger, that hunger for variety. And this is kind of funny to say because I really actually had like the same breakfast every day. I love my morning protein shake. Like I just have that every day, the same one too. Strawberry and chocolate. Yum. But there is like a level of routine. At the same time, you want to make sure you're branching out to get those vitamins and minerals that are really important. So a lot of times our hunger might be that nutritional hunger. So you might be tempted to go get your typical snack at lunch, that, stick cheese, but a lot of times maybe you find that that's not going to satisfy you. So instead, maybe switch it up. Get an apple, something else. Try to get yourself some more variety of foods. Obviously try to go for more of the clean, less processed foods so that you're getting all the different nutrients that we need from the foods we eat. And then that may help to get rid of this hunger, because a lot of people have this like just permanent nutritional hunger because they're not getting all the nutrients that they need, so their body's out there craving stuff. The other thing too is that a lot of us are eating more sugars and carbs than our body really needs. I mean, our body will use both sugar and fat for our primary energy sources, but sugar burns a lot more quickly, and your body's going to crave what you give it. So, when you have a low blood sugar, because the sugar burns so quickly, you're going to want more carbs, which is going to have you shoot up again and then go down again, up and down. And that actually causes inflammation in the body, a lot of other issues. So if you eat more whole foods, look for more like healthy fats, things like that really can help they burn much more slowly, then you won't find that crash in the afternoon as much, and you won't have that hunger for some kind of carby thing because you haven't let your blood sugar go down. So I know sometimes like we talk about being hangry, this is with the low blood sugar, and so if we can try to avoid that, if we're eating some of those healthier fats that burn a bit more slowly, so we have to train our bodies to burn fat versus the sugars as we keep eating all these sugars that we're eating. And then the other thing too is that sometimes we just have to empty, like our stomach just kind of feels empty. And the thing is, I mentioned this before, our stomach is the size of our fist. And that seems small because a lot of us, our stomachs are expanded. So the stomachs can expand, which is great back in the day when we had times of plenty and we could stuff our faces, because then we could prepare for times of scarcity where we wouldn't be able to eat any food, so we need to be able to use what we had already in our stomachs. So this is a great talent our stomach has, is to expand. However, a lot of us are just walking around and living with expanded stomachs, like just permanently expanded. And so you can kind of obviously you start to feel hungry a lot sooner, and you kind of have this empty sort of feeling. And it can feel like hunger, but really just empty. And we have to let our stomachs settle down. And I talked about portion control a few weeks ago, and this could be a good way to help our stomachs to settle down a bit so we're not so overloaded and constantly at this expanded state, making us feel hungry when really we're just empty, and you just gotta let it just kind of stretch back down. It may take longer than others depending on where we're all at and how our bodies all function. But if you can try to play with that a little bit, you might be able to decrease how hungry you feel at certain times. Never mind decrease, bloating and discomfort that a lot of us have. So hopefully this helps you. And I love if you just go down this checklist. I'd love, to hear what maybe works for you, what doesn't work for you, what's like, no, this is totally wrong, weird, whatever. That's fine. I won't be offended. But I know these have some kind of things that worked for me in trying to manage that, because I love food, and sometimes I just eat at nervousness, because I'm trying to do this or that, the other thing. And having this kind of checklist and this mindset of, why am I really hungry? It helps me not necessarily to just stop eating, but I can be more mindful about it. It really comes down to being mindful about what we're eating and why we're eating it. And I think that really helps in a lot of different ways, feeling better in life, as well as like more in control about my eating habits. So hopefully this helps someone out there. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you again sooner. In the meantime, remember, life is chaos, so we just have to have fun with it.